Hey guys, so I was laying in bed last night and I was thinking about, well, my mind tends to race. And so I was thinking about all these things. And I wanted to talk to you guys about life today. So many of us from a small age have big hopes and dreams for our life. We often think and believe that we can and we will be the next dancer, singer, actress, hockey player, a star of some sort. As we grow older, we believe less and less who we wanted to be and who we are supposed to be. Take myself for an instance. I grew up wanting to be an Olympic gymnast and or a professional dancer. Not the pole type, like a real professional dancer. As I went through the years, I moved more and more away from what was originally my dream and my aspiration into more and more, say, what my parents wanted me to do or what, society had kind of like shaped me towards. And that came from multiple influences. It came from my parents, it came from my friends, my schoolmates, and most importantly, it came from myself. It came from that belief of not thinking that I could make it. I remember being a gymnast and getting to go on an all-star team. Went to a competition, won number one in every single area. Yes, that totally pumped up my energy and I thought, yeah, I could totally do this. But as I started to kind of go through life, it was like, do you really think that you could do that? Do you really think that you can make it to the Olympics? And more, I started to overthink it. I started to think like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if, and then I did a back handspring once and I, tweaked my neck and I started to doubt myself more and more and more. So then I started to move more and more away from who I was meant to be or supposed to be. And, I believe that life will take you on a journey and whatever happens is for the right reasons. I do believe that, maybe I wasn't meant for that. But I think that a lot of the time it comes down to your belief, I think. At the end of the day, we find that we move more and more away from who we wanted to be into who we think we're supposed to be. Trust me, I never did what I wanted to do, and I still regret it to this day. I seen myself as, when I became a dancer, I seen myself as being on like the back of music videos, and I see myself traveling the world. And you know what? There is a big part of me that regrets it, that I didn't take that leap, that I didn't believe in myself to go that far. It's just now that I'm deciding it's time to shine and do what makes my heart sing. And what I've learned over the course of the years is that I really am passionate about helping others. I would say my biggest icon is like Mother Teresa. I love that, she said she was very selfless and she put all of, whatever she was dealing with aside, and she just wanted to go in and she wanted to help others. And so I've realized that now more than ever in my life that I want to do what makes me happy. I want to do what I truly feel is in my heart. And I would say that I've, maybe I'm not the dancer or the gymnast that I thought that I would be, but I know that I want to, make an impact in life, and I want to be able to help others see their dreams, and I want to help others be able to overcome that fear and mindset of not doing what they were meant to do. So I want you to ask yourself this. Currently, right now, are you fulfilling your life? Are you fulfilling your dreams? And are you doing what you're meant to do? Guys, we only live one life and one life only. And that's sometimes a hard pill to swallow. And it's often something we never think about or talk about. I used to always say to myself when I was younger, when I would go through different life kind of things that would come up, I would always say to myself, will I regret this when I'm older? If it was to go to, let's just say you have let's say you have a husband who's not supportive and you don't go to a family reunion because he doesn't like your family. I used to always ask myself, like, let's just say that, and that's not what happened, but I was just saying, like, if that's the reality, You have to ask yourself, will I regret this when I'm older? Will I be sitting in a wheelchair when I'm 90 years old looking out a window and regret that I didn't see more of my family? Or will I regret not going out and, one thing that I have a big fear on is public speaking. Surprisingly enough, these videos are really hard, used to be really hard for me to do. I'd have that lump in my throat. I'd be so scared. But then I say to myself, if I can jump on here and change a person's life or change a person's direction to believe in themselves, then to me it was all worth it. And it's the same that goes for public speaking. I eventually would love to be a public speaker. And that's my biggest fear in the world. But I want to help others. And because I've been through, quite a few life circumstances, I feel like I can relate to a lot of people's stories. And so that's kind of what I want to eventually do in my life. But if I don't get up and share my story and I don't get up and be vulnerable, then I'm not able to help others in their situations that they may be suffering in. So it's kind of neat how like your biggest fear becomes your biggest motivation. So stop telling yourself what you can't do and start telling yourself what you can do. I always say stop looking at it as an obstacle and start looking at things as opportunities. So I want to hear from you all. You guys, I am definitely that person that has been through those things, and I want you guys to share with me because I'm curious. Tell me, what did you want to be as a little girl or a little boy? And this is going to be a little test just to see, what were our dreams and aspirations when we were little? And then I want you to ask yourself, what are you currently doing now that's fulfilling that dream? And it's okay if you're not doing that. The point of this is to recognize. So tell me what you wanted to be as a little girl or a little boy. What were your dreams and aspirations? And then tell me what you're currently doing now. Are you happy? Do you feel fulfilled? Or do you feel defeated and lost, regretting that you never carried out your dreams? These are big things to realize, because you guys, if you don't carry out your dreams and aspirations, there's going to be a piece inside of you that's always missing. If you want to see your heart sing and you want to see that happiness, I feel like this could be the key in you seeing that happiness. So if you're not doing that, I want you to personally reflect, and whatever you're doing, I want you to share with us, because ultimately the first point of this is recognition. So maybe I'm not the dancer or the gymnast that I thought that I would be, but I've definitely moved towards wanting to help others. And I've always kind of been like that throughout my whole life. And I know I'm on the right track, which in turn makes me happy. And you see that through my Facebook. You see that I feel really fulfilled because I'm living out my dreams and aspirations of what I once wanted to do. So it may not be something as small as, maybe being the best hockey player or a dancer or a gymnast, but it may be something that has kind of carried you through and you've always wanted to do. But don't spend your life regretting. Guys, take the first step and believe in yourself that you can, because the moment you jump into that role and you be who you wanted to be, things change. And I'm going to share this one last thought because I just thought of it. So Kyle, he wrote down when he was 7 years old that he wanted to be a firefighter, just like on a piece of paper. Well, like what little boy doesn't, right? But he wanted to be a firefighter. And when I first met him, he was working on the rigs, and he was also, and then he started working in like construction. He wasn't happy. I could tell he didn't feel fulfilled. It felt like it was just a job. He was working day in and day out and day in and day out and just making a paycheck. He wasn't happy, and I could see that. And then he got deferred from the fire department, but then he said, no, I'm not going to let that be my outcome. I want to be a firefighter. I'm passionate about helping others. And if you know Kyle, he totally is. And so he went back with that fear of he may not possibly get on. And he went back and he hit it head on. You know, he was scared to do it, but you guys, he hit it head on and he went for it. He became a firefighter, and I've been with the guy for 11 years, and literally I seen like a new spark in him. He went from working a construction job or working on the rigs to not like just feeling like, yeah, I make a good paycheck, to being like humble and like whole in his self, because he was doing what he was meant to do. So from that 7-year-old boy, he had that fear that he may not ever make it, but he went back and tackled that head on, and he's now a firefighter, and you can tell he feels fulfilled in his career. So ask yourself the same. Are you doing what you were meant to do? And I want to hear from you guys. If you're watching, share with us, because it's really good to show that recognition, but it's also really good to dig deep and decide, are you doing what makes you happy?